guys. Give me a 1 for 1, or a 5 for 5, or a 20 for 20, whatever you want to throw out there. Let me know you can hear and see me. How about that? And we'll get moving here. Yeah, that's a song from the 80s, guys. That was Beds Are Burning. So, yeah, if you listen to the lyrics of that, yeah, kind of appropriate nowadays, you think? Okay, cool. We'll just get rocking here, I guess. Let me back that off some. All right. So thanks to everybody for stopping in. I am going to go ahead and jump into this and get through the space weather here real quick. So anyway, with the Schumann guys, not really a whole lot going on here. So, and Verte is right there. So yeah, he'll probably agree with me on that. There's not a whole lot going on here right now, which is why I don't spend a whole lot of time when I'm not seeing anything, because I don't want to waste your guys' time. I have a basic understanding of what we're looking at here. Verte has the extended version, that's for sure. So much more intelligent on this one than what I am. So please go over and check his stuff out. He definitely will explain it to you a lot better than I can, but I will show it to you every video because I think it's that important. So anyway, not much going on. A couple little, I don't even like calling them spikes. It's just an uptick in the hurt level there. And yeah, not even really that long lasting. So that's right, Rhonda. Heck yeah. 80s, baby. 80s and early 90s was me. Graduated 93, so that helps you understand me a little bit more. And by the way, guys, I'm going to be making a few videos so Tommy can post them over on his channel on the lifeboat. Obviously, we know that he's fighting the CV-19er is what I call it. But I'm going to be sharing some personal things about myself, and my struggles that I had with the pain pill addiction and all that kind of thing. We'll probably break it up into a few different videos. I'm assuming he'll post them over there because he's having trouble, really making any content because he's sick. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll tell you guys when I do it. That way you guys can go over and check it out if you want to. I think it's a good thing to get to know who's actually giving you this kind of information anyway. And then it'll be personal stuff, which I don't care to share because I think it helps other people. So anyway, you got the X-ray flux here, guys. Here's our daily dropout. We're going to see that because of, obvious, like I said before, it's eclipse season for GOES. The Earth passes between the satellite and the sun, so it's not able to collect the data and all that. So that's why you see that there. There's nothing strange going on there other than that. So with the proton flux, no radiation storms right now. If there is any kind of radiation hitting us right now, our atmosphere and our magnetic field's handling it just fine. Sweet, Nicole. Sweet. Heck yeah. Like them people around my age. Oh, man. I age myself so much when I play the music I play. Just saying. But it is what it is. But anyway, guys, so the geomagnetic activity, not a whole lot right now. I do look for that to change. We do have, it's becoming more and more probable that we will be seeing a geomagnetic storm from that filament release on the 17th. Okay? That's kind of what everybody's talking about right now as far as that goes. With here's their KP prediction forecasting over here at NOAA, Spaceweather Prediction Center. So this is 17th here. So they're looking, and what I find a little bit interesting here. Hey, Becca, good to see you. Carolyn, what's up? Bob, what's up? But so you see the 4s here on the end of the day on the 17th, and then they continue through the 18th. It's been a minute since we've seen them string that many 4s that close to each other, like 4 in a row. A lot of times here early on in the sun cycle, we've been seeing, it'll pop up there for a second or, 1 or 2 data collections here, 3-hour increments, which is what that is. That's representing these over here, okay? These are 3-hour increment plots, and they're averages, global average, okay? you can actually break that down even more. You can go look at what the geomagnetic activity is in higher latitudes, which means closer to the poles. And just for example, the other day when we got up to like a 4, higher latitudes they actually were sitting at a 6. Okay, now we're talking really higher up. We're not talking just like, at the border of Canada and the United States. We're talking quite a bit further than that. But typically, the further you go towards the poles, the more geomagnetic activity your location is going to experience. So that's why I bring that up. This is just a global average, 3-hour increments. That's probably the best way to do it for the general public like us. So I don't disagree with what they do there. That's in my opinion, it's probably the best thing they can do. So anyway, but I've not seen them string this many 4s together in quite some time. So the chances of us, getting into geomagnetic storm on that day at that time, I think they're increasing every day because I think they're finding out that their forecasting was a little bit more accurate than what had been originally expected. So now as you get over here to the Enlil spiral, again, this is their version and their forecasting of this, right? So right here would be that filament release. Now you can see it really well. By the way, before I move forward, did you guys like that intro better than just the SDO captures? So I think that's going to help people that want to come here just for the information, like the data collection part of it, like I'm showing right now. If I put that in my intro, people that already know what that is and they just want to see what it is at that time, they can just watch that as we're getting into my show. So if you guys like that, or if you think it's better, let me know. Let me know in the chat here. If you'd like it, give me a 1 there in the chat. If you don't care, give me a 4. Okay? And if you want me to keep doing the SDO stuff, put a 2 there in the chat for me if you would. I'm just curious to know. Hey, Bubba. What's up? What's up, Susan? Good to see you. Matthew. Hummingbird. What's up? Okay, cool. Okay, seeing some 1s. All right. Yeah, Tab, I know. I like the intro. I'll play that on my uploaded videos. That's what I try to do, the older one. So, but for my live shows, okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's better. It gives you guys a little bit something different to look at instead of just looking at the SDO captures. So, it's okay. Well, what I did, Carolyn, I just basically scrolled through what I'm showing you guys right now. And I just, clipped it together into a video. And that's what I played as my intro. So, but anyway, as we get moving on here, we got, again, that's that filament release, right? So this is Earth, and that's the sun, obviously. Top-down version, side cut. And this is speed, and up here at the top is density. So, hey, Darren, what's up? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So, ooh, didn't mean to do that. And I know I'm a little bit late tonight. Sorry about that, guys. I am trying to get a little bit more consistent with the time I come on. Because I'm noticing a huge difference in the amount of views I get. Like, say, if I waited an hour from now to start my show, my views are almost half of what I get when I do it the other way. And it's just because of the timing. That's all it is. But anyway, you can see right here, and this is why they were questioning the forecasting, because there were so many things happening at once. Now, I've already spoke about that. Something else interesting right now. Now, you see this. Now, watch how these combine. Right there. Watch right here. So, I'll back it up. Now, you got that coronal hole stream, which is what this is. When you see these arcing out like that, that energy is typically from a coronal hole. Okay, it's a constant output of increased charged particles, plasma, right? So then you had that filament release. So, and the filament release is actually moving faster than the solar wind. So it catches up with it. See that? Now watch them combine right here. And watch what happens. They almost blend in together. See that? Now, if you were just to look at this would look like one. So that's we see this a lot. And if you look at this, when those combine, if this had combined a little bit earlier, we may be seeing a bigger difference in what kind of geomagnetic activity we're going to see. Because you can see how this kind of creeps just around the backside of the planet right there. So, if their timing's exact on this right now, it's going to keep us in a little bit lower of a state than what could happen if it's off just a little bit. So, just saying. Wanted to explain that to you guys. That's stuff that I look at, guys, and anybody running these kinds of space weather channels and things like that, they're looking at it too, most of them. And we just don't talk about that to that detail typically because it does take a little bit of time. But I like for you guys to understand, so that's why I do it. Hey, Mark. What's going on? Okay. So, all three, wind, plasma, and magnetosphere. Yep. Oh, really? Yeah, do that, Darren, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to mispronounce your name. This will give me a good chance to show you guys something, too, here, real quick. I'm just going to pull up random channel, right? It doesn't really matter what it is, I guess. Let's just go to... Well, let's do this. This is a channel I was going to show you guys anyway. I can't remember who recommended him to me. Now, this is a live stream that he keeps up all the time. Okay? So we're going to click on this, and I want you guys to watch this. Okay? What this is it's just, he's not talking, he's not doing anything at all. He is actually just showing you conditions. And this will scroll through certain things. If you go down to his description, you can see where he gives you a key you can use, I believe is how that works. If you enter it into the chat, it will change right here. Live chat commands available. If you type these into the live chat, it'll skip to those captures of what you're trying to look at. So he's doing regular weather, space weather, all this. And this guy's a veteran, and, again, you got 6 people over here watching, but that's not saying anything really because this thing is up 24 hours a day. So if you're just looking for something like that, and I really want to give this guy a shout out because if you guys see the graphics that he's actually producing out here, you're going to be impressed. It does look, it's very, very professionally put out there. Now, for a lot of you, it might look like a haphazard mess, but it's not. Here's the USGS, the thing I show you all the time. And like I said, this will scroll through to the SDO captures and all those kinds of things. The channel's called Matt Shipley Livestream, and I'm going to drop it here in the comment section here because people like this need support, It's hard to get any kind of support on channels like this when you're not really talking, you know what I mean? People like that interaction just like I do. But for people that know exactly what they're looking at and the data, what they know exactly what the data means, this is a good hub to come over here and check it out. I would encourage everybody to do that. So if you would, go check him out. Maybe 9 people watching now. maybe drop some. There you go. Yeah, drop some subs and stuff in there for him. Tell him Wade just sent you in the comment section. I asked him if I could promote, give him a shout out, and I believe he said yes. I didn't go back and look, but I didn't hear anything of the other. But anyway, back to the notification. You guys ever want to, I'm subscribed, but I don't have the bell ticked right now. So if I tick this bell, you guys see these 3 options? You got to make sure you hit the all. If you just hit like personalized, YouTube is just going to notify you every so often when somebody posts a video. So that's its default setting. It's personalized. So when you click the bell, you need to click the top one where it says all. So that's when, I'm not saying that some of the notifications ain't going to get out anyway, because it always happens, right? See how that's changing right there? I mean, this is a lot of cool stuff over here. But I'm going to give him a like on this. I always do. I've been trying to make a point going over there since this channel was pointed out to me. I don't know Matthew Shipley. I don't know this guy. But I do think that he's got a good setup here. And I think you guys will enjoy it. And it might help you guys, even understand. Now, he does do some videos too. But again, I'm not going to go too much into detail there right now. But yeah. So anyway. So back to what we were doing. I just want to point that out about the bell because we get that a lot. I mean, and it's not, I used to think it was like what we're talking about, but guess what? It's not. I was actually listening to Johnny today, Johnny Scoville, Chase the Heat, watching his show, and he was basically saying the same thing. You know, sometimes the notifications don't get sent out. You know, he's eating hot peppers. That's what his channel's about, right? Chase the Heat. So it has nothing to do with the genre. It just happens. So I just wanted to say. But yeah. So, all right. How you guys doing in there? So fake. Not sure if you're talking to me, but that's okay. Hey, Tommy. Man, you didn't look very good today, brother. Been praying for you off and on all day. But anyway. So as we move through this, here's the Discover data again. Now remember, if you guys look at this, see this up here? The BZ, I talked about this a little bit yesterday. When we're pointed towards the south, when we're talking about space direction, like when we're looking at the sun, that's the angle we're kind of talking about here. I believe they call it, and I don't want to get this wrong, celestial north. I think maybe that's what they call it, north-south. But don't quote me on that one. I probably shouldn't even have said that, because I'm not for sure. But the BZ angle is the one that is that angle, right? So if we're pointed towards the south, stuff gets in way easier. So nothing, you know, you see it right here, the 0. Everything's holding right there right now. So, yeah, I mean, but as far as the actual conditions, as far as density and all that stuff's in normal range right now. Now, I know we say that 4 on the density graph here is what we consider normal, but I'm telling you that, man, it really, to me, it almost has to be quite a bit higher than that to really be normal to me, or ambient conditions, I should say, if I want to use the right terms there. Because what is normal, right? that's subjective in a lot of ways. So anyway, you got the temperature here, right? And we'll talk about the temperature of that in a minute. But here is our magnetosphere. Remember, the sun's off to the left on these, right? So this is the velocity. This is the speed at which the charged particles are traveling between us and the sun. I'm going to stop it here because this is going to be something I can show you guys here too. This is kind of representing our bow shock. What is the bow shock? It is the point where the solar wind meets our magnetic field. Basically the first point of contact. And you'll see this thing shoot out, back off. You'll even see it sometimes look like it goes away, but it doesn't. The only way that the bow shock goes away is if the solar wind goes away or our magnetic field goes away. And if either one of those happens, we are not going to be having this conversation, just so you know. Only way that the solar wind goes away is if the sun isn't there, obviously. And what happens if we don't have a magnetic field? Go look at Mars. That's all I can say to that. Because they had a very similar atmosphere of ours at one point. So, and look at it now. They're learning a lot more about Mars right now. But anyway, as you can see this, and I'm pointing this out because as we talk about the speed of that plasma causing that Steve phenomenon, and I'll show it to you here in just a second. But notice behind here in our magnetosphere, how the speeds are way lower. Well, it's because that is our magnetic field deflecting that stuff, slowing it down, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, right? So that's why you see out here, if you look at the chart here, we're looking at 300 kilometers a second, right? And this is 0, really. Now, what are they showing here? What do we have 600 here and 600 there? Well, that's negative and positive. That's the direction of which it's traveling. That's the polarity of it. Like I say, the solar wind is polarized in the sense that it has a charge, negative, positive. So, anyway, yeah, Verte, let Tommy send you something spicy, brother. I'm not saying you can't handle stuff like that at all, but man, I tell you, I've seen Tommy and I've seen Johnny and I've seen a whole lot of people on their channels eat some really hot stuff that, oh my goodness, like that Mad Dog 357, that stuff right there. I think that's pure capsaicin extract, or pure capsaicin, I should say. I'm not for sure on that, so don't quote me on that one either. I remember watching Johnny do his first one with the Mad Dog, and I don't think he put it in hot water first, so it was real like chunky. And that's been years ago. But anyway, here's the density, and I know I'm like a squirrel, guys. I need to just quit looking at the chat. So anyway, you got the density here, and obviously the same thing's happening behind our magnetic field, or inside of it, our magnetosphere, right? Hey, Menacing, what's up? Hey, Joshua, do you think any of the flares coming will affect Inspiration 4 that just went up? You would have to have some sort of Inspiration 4. I'm assuming is a satellite, if I'm correct. I don't know much about that one, but yeah, solar, any kind of space weather, it doesn't. You put satellites out there past our magnetic field, it loses that protection that we have. So it just gets pounded constantly. And yeah, they take steps to try to make sure things last a little bit longer. There are satellites up there they didn't think were going to last this long. And they are. Now, the quality of them are kind of degrading a little bit. Sometimes you'll see it sometimes in the captures. You'll see it slowly degrade. But they have ways that they can actually, like clear the lens and everything else from here, from the planet. They can, believe it or not, they can upgrade here from our planet. Satellites, they can upgrade them from on the surface, the software upgrades and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. So, yeah, Tommy's talking about Johnny over there. Guys, if you don't know who Johnny is, Johnny Scoville, just Google it or go to his YouTube page. He's a legend in no uncertain terms here, guys. He just is in the pepper eating community. But I'll leave it at that for now. But anyway, you got the magnetic pressure around our planet, and everybody go sub up to him too, please. We can all try to get the best. Everybody's just trying to do the best they can, and that helps. So anyway, this is magnetic pressure, and this is what most people kind of understand more than anything, because we all understand what pressure feels like, right? So, just saying. But not much big going on there. So this is the SDO captures. We'll go ahead and fire them up. You're not going to see much, and that's why I'm not going to waste too much time here, because we haven't had any eruptions. No filament releases here lately. Any of that. Sorry about that lip smacking thing. Didn't mean to do that. That's got to be annoying for you guys. Sorry about that. Anyway, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at the sun from our perspective. And what do? They put these filters in front of them, or they apply a filter to data, okay? And that's, yeah. So when we're looking at this, they do this so you can see different gases, right? So the 211, the purple one, tends to show coronal holes a lot better than the rest of them. So that's what we're looking at there. So why do we care about coronal holes? Well, it's just a constant increase of charged particles. These coronal holes are one of the biggest reasons we get geomagnetic storms. You get a big one for long lasting, it definitely will affect us. And then you throw in some CME action behind all that, and yeah, and then we have some aurora we get to go look at. Just saying. But yeah, and I do have to say, guys, early on this sun cycle right now, with the amount of eruptions we've had, it does seem that we're dodging some bullets. And again, I don't have any data to show you as far as what we really should be expecting right now. I mean, yes, I can tell you that we should be kind of going up and down, but I don't have anything to say, hey, this year versus last sun cycle, compare the two as far as how many CMEs were hitting Earth versus the amount of eruptions, right? Now, I know I probably just confused a whole lot of people with that bunch of word salad, but there's really no other way to say that. So, but anyway, the 304, if we look here, I'm not going to zoom in right now, guys, because there's really not much to see. If you go over to the 304 angstrom, you can see filaments, just like your incandescent light bulb has a filament in the middle. That's what generates the heat and the light. It's restricting the flow, causing friction of the electricity, right? So what happens when that old style incandescent light bulb blows? It's just like a fuse. It breaks in the middle. So when you grab that bulb and you're shaking it, you're listening for that rattle. That's what you're hearing rattle in there. It's that filament. So the sun has a filament. That's a magnetic connection line. Sometimes they bust off because they get unstable. And that's what we've got coming at us here on the 17th. So, but as far as seeing flares, the 131 angstrom here shows it really well. And so does this 304. And I don't show you guys this one, or 94, I'm sorry. I don't show you guys this one very often. But I've been trying to include it more. It's just the detail on it just isn't quite the same as the other ones. That's the only reason why. So, nothing different than that. Okay, so let's go to. I didn't show you guys Seed yet, did I? Okay. Give me 1 second. I got to pull that up. Sorry. So here's Seeds, and let me back this up some. And again, you're still going to see eruptions on the sun, but they're not coming at us. Not a whole lot of them anyway. Now, this is from our point of view. This is SOHO. Basically, it's the same perspective as if we walked outside and looked at the sun, right? Why do they have this big black disc here? It's an occulter, so it can block the main parts of the light of the sun, so the instrument doesn't get overexposed with a bunch of light. We wouldn't be able to see nothing if that wasn't there. So, just so you know, that is a physical disc. It isn't something that's put there, just in the software. That's a physical disc that's on these tools on the satellite. But as you can see, again, all we can tell is that, yes, it's going this way and that way and this way if we just look at this one, right? So how do we know if that thing's coming at us? Well, we go to the side. We look at the side. Okay? And I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this one because I want you guys to see something pretty interesting. That filament released off, right? Now remember, this is the side view, so the satellite is basically here where my cursor is. If you just pull that cursor to your nose and you back up 92 million miles, that's basically where this satellite's sitting. Okay? And that's just a rough estimate of miles. And then the Earth would be over here, roughly about the same distance away. So when, before I would say, hey, yeah, the satellite's here and Earth's over here. I was doing that so people could understand the angle of difference. And it's not 90 degrees anymore. It's more 45 than anything. But when I do this, it's insinuating that the satellite's south of the sun, and the Earth isn't. Right? That's not what's going on. They're both orbiting around the sun, basically in the same orbital pattern. Okay, they're on what they call the ecliptic. That's the sun's equator. It stretches out, imaginary line stretches out from the sun's equator all the way out through our solar system, and you can take it out as far as you want. But that's where most of the planets are hugging that ecliptic. So just so you understand that. But so most of these are going off the side here, but this one here, it exploded out, and they called it lopsided when I know Spaceweather.com did when they were reporting on it, and they were right. I mean, this thing is lopsided. What do I mean? Well, you see how these are blowing off over here? They're more concentrated in a ball, and they typically will spread out north-south, right? Looks like a big fan. Well, if we look at this and you kind of see the shadows here, this one is actually fanning out more latitudinal. I know it sounds a real crazy word there, but basically more horizontal than it is vertical. So what's that do for us? Well, then the north-south becomes very, very important whether or not this is going to hit us, because it's basically flat. It's what it kind of looks like. It's not flat, but it's close. That's just the way it blew off. So, and as the further it gets away from the sun, the more it spreads out and becomes more of just a very consistent whatever. So, I guess it's kind of like light when it leaves the sun. The light rays themselves, by the time they get to us, they're pretty much just all parallel. That's why you don't have a vertical termination line when we're talking about looking at the shadow being in nighttime or daytime. You got the other one. You don't have that. So I probably just confused you guys again. I didn't put that very well. Sorry. Wow. Anyway, so Steve's. This is what we're going to talk about. We talked about this before, but not to this extent. Now, something else, guys. We pretty much have a blank disk right now. No sunspots facing us, but this one right here. And that one wasn't even a sunspot, yesterday. So, and it's rotating off. So over here at Spaceweather.com, please go give them some love, and I say this every time because they deserve it. Give them proper credit where credit's due. That's what we do. So, anyway, you got minor geomagnetic storm, and they're predicting this on, the 17th, like I've already showed you. Now, he even says here that it's becoming more and more probable that we're going to get hit with this thing. What it does to us, most likely, maybe a G1 storm, like I said before. It won't be much more than that, I don't think. And so what could we see? Well, an increase in these auroras, just some minor things. And again, the higher you get latitude towards the poles, the more of an effect it's going to have. It's going to be more intense. That's why we get these auroras up here. And that's why we make it a big deal when we see aurora down towards, mid-latitudes closer to the equator. And, like with the Carrington event, they seen aurora on the equator. So that was a blast. So, just saying. Now, what causes the auroras, and I went over that a little bit before, it's the charged particles interacting with the molecules and stuff in our atmosphere. Oxygen, nitrogen. And when it hits it, it causes it to become unstable. So when it's coming back to its stable state, that's when it generates the color. Okay, so that's what you're seeing. It's actually going back to a more stable state. That's what you're seeing. And again, that's a very basic explanation on how these things are kind of up there. But this is a Steve. This is not an aurora. Okay, it's a phenomenon. And so what is it? Well, this one here was caught by, let's see here. Again, I want to give credit. Oh, man. I don't see any. Spencer Dant. That's his name. This is his photograph. Okay? You've seen this Steve, and then you got your auroras here in the background. Right? So what's a Steve? Well, right here. They named it Steve, Strong Thermal Emission Velocity Enhancement. They probably used those words because it spelled out Steve. Okay? Looks like an aurora, but it's not. Okay? It's 3,000 degree, not Fahrenheit, those of us over here across the pond are going to understand that a little bit more, but 3,000 Celsius is crazy hot. Okay? So that was coming through our magnetosphere. What's our magnetosphere? Well, right here. Back here. Okay? Here, all the way through. That's what you're looking at here. Okay? So, but I also want to point out, it says 6 kilometers a second, 13,000 miles per hour. Now, we know 6 kilometers per second isn't all that fast when we're talking about solar wind, right? Well, what I mentioned earlier is that stuff is now in our magnetosphere behind our bow shock and our magnetic field protection. So it's moving slower. That's why you're seeing that. Okay? So, because I know I tell you guys all the time, 300 to 500 kilometers a second is normal for solar wind. And I just sit here and said 6 kilometers a second. But that's pretty, that's pretty intense when you got 3,000 degrees Celsius too. And that's what's causing these. So they're very specific, and I guess some of the studies show that it happens more often in the spring and fall. Is that what this says? The onset of northern autumn. Okay, when it's autumn in the north, says the arc out of summer hiding is what it says here. So yeah, go over here and read this, guys, and give them some love. Spencer Dant caught that beautiful photograph. It's awesome stuff. Awesome. So what's that? Okay. I will bring up USGS real quick. So, and I know that people are talking about Canary Islands. They have been for a week, and yes, we should talk about it. Because if that does have an issue, then we're going to have issues. But nothing yet. Now, remember, this is the mid-Atlantic. What region is that? I forget. Oh, by the way, there was actually a pretty decent one here in China. Now, I know 5.4 doesn't seem all that big for you guys and for most people, but it was populated. That's why. Okay? You see the orange pager button that they give you? Well, this is the estimated fatalities, and I've went over this before. There is a 30% chance that at least one person died from this. Now, I'm not seeing anything on that. Now, the chances for economic loss is really actually greater than what a fatality. So, I would assume that their building codes are fairly decent over there, because it isn't a third world country, even though we might not agree with the way that they do things in their government and all that. It doesn't make them uneducated, okay? Or doesn't make them poor either, okay? So that's really what drives the whole building code thing in the third world countries. It's more monetary than anything. Those people aren't stupid either. They just don't have the money to get it up to par. And that's just what it is. But, so that's the earthquake thing there. Now, again, when we're talking about this one, that's Ascension Island, north of Ascension Island. You got the Canary Islands over here. That's fairly close. And if there's been some activity over here, signs and stuff of this volcano getting ready to erupt or whatever, maybe that's a pressure release for it. And that might help the situation, believe it or not. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that, I just don't know enough about this subject. Okay? So I'm not going to sit here and claim and say anything about any further than what I already did. Hey, John in the Spirit. Hey, yes. He's the one that suggested Matthew Shipley. Okay? So please go over and check him out. Thanks for doing that, John. I appreciate you, bud. So, yeah. That is the Space Weather Update by Blue Kool-Aid. Just saying. Cut me some slack, guys. Cut me some slack. You guys got any questions? I'll be happy. Oh, one thing I do want to mention. Okay, chat rules. Chat rules and comment section more so than chat. My moderators typically will take care of the chat really, really well. Okay, hey CW, what's up? Michael, what's up, man? Was that near Ascension Island? That earthquake? That was, let's see here. It says magnitude 5.2 north of Ascension Island. Well, we can click on it and see exactly where it's at. To see here, it happened at that location, 1.337 degrees south, 15.914 west. So if you look that up, you'll be able to find out where it's at exactly. But this gives you a pretty good idea. Okay, we can zoom in here. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot right next to it, but we do get earthquakes out here, guys. Okay, so Here's Cabo Verde, and I think the Canary Islands are up here, right? They don't even have them labeled. Okay. Anyway, those islands aren't labeled on this map, but that's okay. That's okay. Really, seriously. So there you go. Hope that helps. Look up. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it, Muskrat? Yeah, you're welcome in, Jay. Hey, Christine, what's up, girl? You guys, go check out her channel too. She does some really cool stuff with photographs and music. Really cool stuff. So, but yeah. So if you guys got any questions, go ahead and fire them at me, and we'll see if I can help you guys out with that. I wonder if it'll let me. It probably will. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna add that real quick while you guys are giving me questions here. We'll just go 10 minutes in to 40, right? That was about roughly what it was. I think it was. We'll just call it that. See what we got. Okay. Just wanted to put that out there. Okay. So you're wow, interesting. Oh, Tab, you doing some research? How would I know if a meteorite fell into my yard? Been researching this rock all day. Magnetic sticks to it. Deep hole in my yard that wasn't there before. I would imagine that there are agencies you could actually send it to, or send them a sample of it. And basically what they're going to do is they're going to look at it and see its makeup of what is actually made up of the rock that did fall. And if it's stuff that, number one, if it comes back with stuff that's not here on our planet, obviously it means it came from space. But there's other ways they can tell too. I don't know those specific techniques, but I know that they know how to be able to tell if it did come from space. You could probably, I bet, let me think about that for a second. Yeah, I don't know the correct agency, but I would imagine if you called any one of the bigger agencies, they'll direct you on where we go, where to go with that. So, yes, that's perfect point right there, Thinker. Good job. This is a lot of meteorites are radioactive, so that's not a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. If it's radioactive, I mean, you're not going to know it unless you take a Geiger counter out there. Okay? So my suggestion, number one, if you don't have to go near it until somebody can come get it, I wouldn't. Definitely don't have your pets or your young kids running around it. That's for sure. Because if you're really that unsure if that came from space or not, guys, we got to understand these things come from space all the time. You know? Meteorites are always happening. Well, hold on a minute here. Check this out. I wonder. Tab, I would probably try to contact, I think his name's Tony Phillips, I think it runs this channel, because of what he does here. He may be able to, near-Earth asteroids, near-Earth objects, he may be able to point you in the right direction. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that. I mean, if you really think there's a good possibility that it's a meteorite, hey, and I know this is going to sound like a joke, because it kind of is, but you might want to make sure you ain't pulling an old Joe Dirt. Just don't be putting ketchup on it and eating fries off of it. So, yeah, just saying. But as far as on a serious note, though, I would definitely, Virginia, another good idea. Contact some universities. They're always looking for samples and stuff like that. Yeah, Joe Dirt. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. You know who Joe Dirt is, Bob? Hey, thanks for stopping in, Carolyn. Glad you're here. Thanks for modding for me. Yeah, but I think if there's a certain amount, Michael, there's ways that they can tell, and you are right. Any mineral and stuff that's in space, we have it here. Um, I don't think there's any mineral been discovered that we don't have here. Yeah. That's right, Becca. Hey, Laura, what's up? Longtime friend of Bill W. Who's Bill? I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure I follow you there, Laura. If I should know who Bill W. is, I apologize. Oh, really, John? Yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think his. I mean, it definitely his guys. I mean, we'll go back over there for a second because I do want to show you guys this site. I think it's really cool. Let's okay, it's Matthew Shipley, and correct me if I'm wrong here, John. I think, can you type these commands in the chat? I guess we could just try it to see what it does if I do that. Let's go. I don't know, HVO. Oops, gotta be capital. Looks like. I don't know if that will like prompt this thing to do something. I don't know how that works. Oh, Matthew's okay. Well, Matthew's on. He's on over there. Looks like he made a comment here on at 11:34. And yeah, he's smart for having this night bot. Because if it's running all the time, you got to have some sort of yeah. Cool, Art. Appreciate that. I'm sure Matthew does too. And again, guys, you know, he only had 2,000 subs, but you know, it's like, you know, if you're just looking for a quick little bam, I want to see what the solar wind is. You can go right there. It's going to be right there. So, oh, see you later, Mark. Thanks for stopping in, man. I guess we could do this too. Yeah. So I think Mark's live right now. Also, I could be wrong on that one because it is 11:37. He's been doing a good job of trying to get off earlier. He needs to do that for himself. I don't see how he does all that. It's crazy to me. He's getting real close to. Yeah, he's live right now, guys. So if you guys want to go over here and check it out, go do it, man. It's good positivity over here, good environment. Just go check him out, guys. Just go back and look at a few of my videos, and you'll see me talk about him. He's my brother, just like anybody else, and more so with him because we've had, lots of personal contact and stuff. So, just an upstanding guy. He really is, and he's funny and all that, and does great music. On top of all that, it's just good stuff. Good stuff. So let's go back here for a second. You guys have any questions? You guys want me to show you anything or have any questions about what I talked about here in the past few days? I guess there is something I could clarify. If you guys want to hang out just for a second, I could bring this up. Hold on a minute. Let's which one is it? Give me a second, guys. Sorry, I don't mean to get quiet on you. Let's try. Oh, okay. This is a moon phase simulation. If you guys want to know where the moon's at and what it's doing and all that, you can go over here. This is actually a PBS site. It's backed by NASA. So, I mean, they're funded by them. So, but they actually have curriculum over here. they're teaching, different grades and stuff. But it's a pretty cool little thing. You can just grab it. That would be you there. You grab them. Oops. Okay, yeah. So you grab it, and you can see it clicking across for whatever time frame, right? The time frame's down there in the bottom right. So you can change your location. You can do, quite a bit of stuff there. It's just a real simple thing there. So, but that is not what I wanted to show you. So let me find what I need to show you. So give me just a second. Like I said, guys, I'm going to try to, because I think that you guys would benefit from seeing this. Let me try this again. Hold on. Let's see here. No global conveyor belt. Power. What's Lagrange point? K models, Aurora model. Oh man. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find it. Sorry, guys. I think I might know where to look. Okay, yeah, this right here. So I'm going to pause this. Now, guys, I know this seems basic to a lot of people, but it's a good thing to show you because it's showing you this again. And I want to point this out because this is going to show you that on any typical day, that right there, I think this is in June. See, the sun's over here, and that's our tilt. So if I take it on further, you see how it's showing you the shadows again. Now let me bring it to December. Okay, you see how I'm going to push play because you're seeing the Earth spin on its axis. That's what gives us day and night. If we were perfectly perpendicular right here, we would get 12 hours day and night, no matter where you're at on the planet. But because of this tilt, it changes that. This point will always be around the same location of the sun. So, yeah. So, this is basically just showing you how seasons work, right? So, we'll push play here. I wonder what this thing does. Okay, what? I think they're going to show you that actually go around. You'll be able to get a visual here. Nope. Anyway, that's that site. But I did want to show that to you because, and we're going to be going over that a little bit more in the future because I think it's important that people see how seasons are made, time zones, all those kinds of things. So, but we'll be going over that some more. And, yeah, so we'll get into that. Going to strangle autocorrect, huh? Yeah, that does kind of suck. Autocorrect sucks most of the time. But, yeah. So, yeah. Now, you guys, let me see if you guys got any more questions. Hey, Renee, what's up? Hey, Kathleen, Fred, Bob. So you guys, if you guys got any more questions, please send them in there to the chat to me. And if I can help you, I will. Yeah. I do think that does help, in my opinion. She says ground your feet. Put your feet in the dirt. Go out and walk around barefooted. We did that as kids, didn't we? We become adults and we forget to go do stuff like that. So, oh yeah, as far as the comment section and all that, you cannot attack another channel, okay? If you mention another channel, especially in a very negative way, I don't leave those comments there. I get them out of there because it's just not cool. They're not there to defend themselves. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, it's called grounding. Mary put it out there. Thanks, Christine. Appreciate you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the hard work you do, Christine, for my channel, Mark's channel. I know you put a lot of work into modding. You really, really are like there. I appreciate you. I don't know that I would call it worry, Rose. There's always going to be something on our planet that's going to be, need to be paid attention to. So, if you guys keep that in mind, when you do see things, you're welcome. You deserve it. Any kind of thanks I can give you, I wish I could give you more. I mean, but, when we look at things happening around the world, there's always something going on. It's never not going to stop. Hey, Solar SBI, what's going on? Fabian, what's happening? Sydney, that's right. Come from a land down under. I love my Aussies. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Devin, the man that created autocomplete, may he restaurant. Oh my goodness. Hey, what's up, AB? Rondeo, what's happening? Yeah, Rondell, we can. It takes quite a bit. It takes a really huge eruption, guys, to really give us a good smack to where we got to be really concerned to the level of taking steps to protect ourselves. We got to remember back in 1989, I know a lot of people don't remember this, but the Canadian grid went down in one section. I think it was Quebec, I believe. But it happens. But the thing I've come to realize is we're all still here. So, and I've also thought about this too. Remember, communication is instantaneous now. And this is actually a good place to show you this. You see these right here? These are the fireballs from the All Sky Camera Network that get reported, right? Well, they couldn't do this in any kind of speed at all if we didn't have instant communication. We have places where we can go report these kinds of things, right? And we can do it very, very easily because we can find the number just by simply typing it in Google, all that stuff, right? So I take that and I take it a little step further to say, and I start thinking about it. Well, what if back in the 1700s they had instant communication like we do? Would what we see today be much different than what they were seeing back then? I don't know the answer to that, just to be honest with you. All we can do is go off of what they recorded and reported. We can't, there's no other way to do that. And what I'm saying is some things, I guarantee you a lot of things happened that didn't get reported just for the simple fact they had nowhere to report it to. You see what I'm saying? So I think everything comes into play here, is what I'm trying to say. I think, yes, we're seeing upticks in certain areas, but I also think some places that we think we're seeing upticks, I don't think it's an uptick at all. I think it's most likely been that way for a very long time. It's just we didn't know it because we didn't have the communication or the tools to collect the data. How did they start plotting sunspots and stuff back in the 1800s when the Carrington event happened? Well, they were using telescopes. Okay? So, they didn't have this technology. They physically had to go look at a sunspot on the sun from their backyard or a funded observatory, right? So that's kind of what I'm saying. we always got to be skeptical. We always got to question everything, okay? Well, we got to be real when it's time to be real, and we need to be able to accept when what we've been told, what is truth or whatever, what is real, what's actually fact or whatever. We got to be willing to accept that what we were told is fact, if in fact it is fact. You see what I'm saying? I know that was kind of like a circle there, but yeah, I mean, and if it's not, then yes, we talk about it, right? It's like this, guys, like in a debate. You got to take a position, a for or against. So if I said, I'm trying to think here what I could use. Basically what I'm saying is, if I make a claim that isn't if I make a claim saying that something isn't what is accepted science, okay, then it's up to me to prove that that science is wrong, not the other way around. So when we think things are going on that's not from accepted science, it's up to us to prove it. If you're going to claim something, then you might want to try to prove it if it's against what we consider factual stuff. That's kind of what I'm saying. So, and unfortunately, a lot of people make claims and stuff, and they'll tell you, well, you need to prove that I'm wrong. No, that's not how it works. You need to prove that you're right first. So you give me what you got as far as what you think is different from what we thought was fact, and then I'll look at what you said and see if I can accept what you said, or maybe I have something to kind of explain it a different way. No, Mandarin muskrat, no, it was only 100 meters big. Okay? That's not really all that, It's a new day. It's a new day, guys. So, but yeah. How's it going with the radio? That's right, Chris. Heck yeah. I just enjoy music, and I like to share the music I like with everybody else, That's just me. A lot of you guys like what I'm playing. We build off set. Yep. Yeah. Again, I see what you guys are talking about in there, and that's okay. I appreciate you guys are being respectful. That's how it's done, guys. Okay? Everybody doesn't have to agree with everybody. That's just a fact. Matter of fact, I encourage people, if they think something's different, to put it in there. But you got to do it in a respectful way. If it's not going to be respectful, then just don't say it. That's called being an adult, is what that is. And unfortunately, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's right, Lola. That's right, HW. And again, like I said, I mean, I don't want to point anybody out here, but Becca and Laura are talking, having a conversation, okay? That's a conversation. They're not attacking each other. Just because they're not agreeing on everything here doesn't mean that they're attacking each other. It just simply means they're disagreeing. It's that simple. I'm sure by the time this conversation's over between the two of them, they're not going to walk away mad or hating each other. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying, guys. And that's an adult conversation. It just is. And people aren't stupid. People know when people are being like condescending and all that. You can see it even in a chat or in a text. You guys see it. I mean, so you know when somebody's being like, I don't know, facetious or any of those kinds of things. All right, John, thanks for stopping in, man. No, I've not seen one myself. Well, I mean, I think we all have seen a UAP or a U. You know, those words. But if you look at the definition of that, it's just an object in the sky that you can't identify. Now, if you're talking about like alien races and stuff like that, I can't say that I've ever seen anything like that. So. Ricky, what are you saying there, girl? Are you sick? I don't know that I've, you know, I think you said that here in my chat, or over in Mark's chat last night. And I meant to ask you about it, but I didn't see you. We are just talking right now. You know, Spaceweather report's over, and you know, if I want, I probably should have cut the feed because it's already well over now. Again, yeah, we're looking at it. It don't matter. We're having conversation. That's more important. So, you're driving and you don't want to do two things at once. Oh, okay. Autocorrect's getting you. Because it happened to you yesterday, too. You must have been driving then also. Oh, it's my eyeballs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ricky. My eyeballs suck. Just so everybody knows. That V looked like a Y to me. I'm sorry. Wow. You had me scared there for a minute. I was like, what in the world? Somebody else sick? So, yeah. Wow. Well, Paula, let's take a look at that. You want to take a look at that? Sunspots? Here's the Earth-facing side right now. There is a sunspot over here. You can kind of see the light specks. Those are basically the start of newer ones starting to poke through. I don't think we have anything on that side of the sun like within the next couple days. So, yeah, for sure. For sure, Ricky, I got you. Yes, can you see what's behind the sun, guys? Depends on what you're talking about. Depends on what you're talking about and how you're talking about it. Here's the thing, guys. Okay, this is where I'm going to pull you over here because I would like to talk about this for a second. And I have just the thing to show you. I don't know if it'll pull it up in this thing, though. It's not going to pull it up. Holy crap. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. Huge spider going across my floor. I got that little punk. Stupid thing. Be right back. Sorry, guys. Be right back. Gotta clean the mess up real quick. Oh, goodness. Wasn't a spider, cricket, false alarm. Sorry, guys. I'm glad I seen him. We've had a cricket in our basement driving me up the wall. Just so everybody knows. It ended up being a cricket. My gosh. My daughter hates bugs, so I knew I had to go at least try to get that thing. Yeah. Yeah, MJ, a lot of people feel like that. MJ here says, tired of waiting, ready to get it over with. Yeah, that's I think all of us kind of feel that frustration at some level when we're talking about life in general. And, what I would say, and this is what I've been trying to, I fight this too, just like I'm normal, just like everybody else in this aspect that, we have to live our life to the best life that we can. Anything past that is a bonus. And anything past that, we can't control anyway. So that right there in itself brings you a little sense of peace, knowing that I think you guys probably could understand this. If you just let it go, it's like a release. So when you can't control something, why should you try to hold on to that? Just let it go. It'll take care of itself. But yeah, yes, kill it. Spider, mosquito. Yeah, my daughter, man, yeah. Yeah, wolf spiders are kind of crazy. I've seen a few of those. You know what I found in my garage last year? And I know this has nothing to do with space weather. I found a nest of, we had a black widow out there, obviously, and it had laid eggs. And this was going to get bad in my garage. I was like, I took care of that with a can of brake cleaner and a lighter. Took care of that real quick. Yeah. There's a lot of interesting spiders out there, though. Black widows, brown recluse. We all know those, right? Now, this might be I appreciate that, Muskrat. Really do. But did you guys know, this is, some of you guys probably know this, a lot of you might know this, that a granddaddy longleg is actually one of the most poisonous spiders out there. It's just they cannot bite you. They're not able to pierce our skin. So that's why they're not a danger to us. So keep that in mind when you look at your next granddaddy longleg crawling up the house somewhere. Yeah, Tab, for sure. And I did. I got lucky. So, yep, tiny mouth. You're right, MJ. Yep. Oh, yeah, you guys got some crazy stuff going on down there, Fabian. We got our fair share of it up here in America, too, but I tell you, down there in Australia, that is, wow. You guys got some really interesting animals, bugs, reptiles. Not me, fear no evil. I can't. Yep, you're right, Ricky. Yeah, that's why I said I grabbed a can. I had a can of brake cleaner sitting right there. So I grabbed my aim and flame. Matter of fact, I didn't even use that. I actually had my propane torch. And I, started a stream of the brake cleaner, hit that freaking flame, man. It's like yeah, you guys have seen it. Probably done it yourself. But yeah, guys, I think I am going to go ahead and cut it unless you guys got some more questions that you want me to try to help you with. As far as we're talking about seeing behind the sun, I don't think, we see on all sides of the sun because we orbit it. I think sometimes people forget that. Big stars, like far away stars and planets, that's why they stay in virtually the same spot in the sky. So when we're on one side of the sun, it's summertime. On the other side, it's winter when we get over there, right? So what I'm saying is that line of sight is important to understand. But if, say, like take for instance, Mercury is just off to the right of the sun in its orbit, right? And we can see it. Well, when it gets behind the sun, we can't. Well, if there was a star that was out past our solar system, there would never be an angle that we couldn't see it because it's so far away. It would have to be such a minute, so precise for us not to be able to see it. Yeah. Yep. They use a lot of those technologies to send back data from the satellites too, I believe. I think, they'll move those satellites too to get back into line of sight so they can transfer the data back to the stations and stuff. Sometimes I think they might even bounce it off other satellites to get it here. So, what's up, Keith? Yeah. You know what, guys? You guys want to hear me scream and cry like a little wuss? Throw a snake at me. A couple things are going to happen. You're going to see me run. You're going to see me scream. Then I'm going to come back behind you and punch you in the head. So, just so you know, don't nobody throw no snake at me. So, yeah. Just letting you know. But I am going to go ahead and cut it, guys. This is getting a little bit too long here. Again, you can see, look here. You guys look at my numbers here. I don't care about the numbers. I really don't. But it does let me know when people are being interested in what we're talking about. So when it starts tapering off like that, people don't want to stick around that long. I get it. I'm the same way. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, cool. Good to see you, Texas lady. But yeah, guys, so I will be doing a couple videos probably, and I'm going to send them over to Tommy. And it'll be about my struggle through what I went through and with the pill addiction and things. And you'll I did a video a long time ago, and it's up on my channel still. It's called Right Here, Right Now, I think is what I named it. I can't remember exactly what I named it, but it was basically for my wife. And it's very similar to what I would do as far as explaining what I've been through. So if you guys are interested in seeing, what I went through in my own life in a more detailed way, I'm going to be doing some videos and sending them over to Tommy. That way he can get them posted. So he's sick with the CV-19er, so yeah. Yep, Melanie, for sure. Petrolinina Ferguson. I haven't been able to get a hold of Scott for a minute. I know he was dealing with a lot of personal stuff, so he was in the chat on a stream I had to shut down because, well, I didn't shut it down. It actually kicked the stream off because the internet was sucking. I came right back on, but he never got back in the chat. So, but yeah, guys. So, go over and hang out on Mark's channel, Mark Pires. I'm gonna go over and say hi to everybody here in just a second, and I'll try to do another video for you guys tomorrow if anything happens between now and then. But until then, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, Body and Soul, what's up? Carmen, you can drink this Kool-Aid.